Hey y'all, my name is Amy. I am a full-time online clothing reseller. Today I have for you 20 items that sold for $40 or more. These 20 items sold between July 22nd and August 4th. This video is going to be a bit heavy on Everlane. I think 16 out of the 20 items were all Everlane, but a good number of them sold for higher price points. So if you want to see which styles are selling for a bit more, be sure to watch. Also, the last two items are higher end brands that sold for a pretty high sales price, so be sure to see those. These first three Everlane items sold in a bundle. First is this Everlane Dream Pant in copper brown. I paid $7.44. It sold 117 days after listing for $40, leaving me $24.56. Then this pleated chino pant in sandstone sold for the same price, so left me with $24.56 profit. It was 107 days after listing this item. Lastly in this bundle is the Everlane Athletic 4-Way Stretch Jeans. These sold 79 days after listing for $40. I had paid $9.40, so that left me with a profit of $22.60. This next item sold with an auto offer. I use Poshmark VA, and 10 minutes after someone likes an item, it sends out a 10% offer with discounted shipping, and that is how this item sold. This is the Everlane Track Cropped Mock Neck Sweatshirt in black. This one sold 42 days after listing for $40, leaving me $18.78. Next was a full price sale over on Depop. This is the Everlane short sleeve crew neck bodysuit in white. I paid $5.10. It took 37 days to sell and left me with a profit of $24.82. This next sale was a really quick sell. Just 4 days after listing, this cotton merino short sleeve sweater in black sold. I paid $11.20. It sold for $42, leaving me $20.38. This one sold when I sent out 30% off offers. This next item is one that I've sold many times, and I feel like in every color I've had, it sold really quickly. This is the featherweight alpaca cardigan in heathered bone. I paid $11.90. It sold just 12 days after listing for $43.25, leaving me $21.58 profit. This next style, I feel like it's really cute. I love these paper bag pant style, and I've had them maybe 3 or 4 times, and I feel like each time they've taken a bit longer to sell compared to other items. This one took 134 days to sell. I paid $7.44. It sold for $45, leaving me $28.56. Next are a pair of men's jeans. This is the slim 4-way stretch jean in black. I paid $9.40. It sold 76 days after listing for $49, leaving me $29.80. This next style is one that I talked about in the last What Sold video. This is a men's piece that I feel like does really well every time I list it. This is the heavyweight overshirt in heathered green. I paid $7.23. It sold 28 days after listing for $49, leaving me $26.41. This time frame was kind of the start of all the cashmere pieces selling, so now we're going to get into a lot of Everlane cashmere pieces, which tend to just have a higher sales price. So if you do come across some cashmere pieces in good condition, I do recommend picking them up. This is the Everlane Cashmere Polo Sweater. This one sold just 2 days after listing. I paid $11.20. It sold for $52, leaving me $30.40. And a brief break in those Everlane items. This next item is by Good American. This is the Always Fits monokini one-piece swimsuit in black. This one sold just 23 days after listing. I had 2 in this style, and both of them sold really quickly and for a good price, so this style might be sought after. This one I had paid $14.25 for. It sold 23 days after listing for $54, leaving me $26.93. Then these men's jeans sold. This is the Everlane Uniform Skinny Stretch Jean in black. I paid $9.40. It sold 80 days after listing for $54.40. That left me with $24.58. Next is an item that I decided just to take the quick profit on. I think I had 3 or 4 of this exact style, and someone sent me an offer one day after listing, so I decided just to take the profit and move on from this piece. This one is the Everlane Chunky Cardigan Zip Jacket in black. I paid $11.20. It sold for $55. That left me with $32.80 profit. I do think I could have gotten a little bit more maybe if I had waited, but I was happy just to get that profit really quickly. Next is a repeat item. This is the cashmere polo in black. This one sold 65 days after listing for $55, leaving me $32.10. Then we actually have a repeat item. This is that chunky cardigan zip jacket again. This one sold on Mercari this time. It sold just 7 days after listing for $68, leaving me $47.15. This next style I feel like is really popular every time I list it. I think I've had a couple that have maybe sat, but most of them I feel like sold rather quickly and definitely for a higher price point. This is the Everlane Stroopwafel sweater. I think they've stopped producing these and I think people really liked them, so I think there's a demand for that reason. I paid $11.90. It sold 44 days after listing for $75, leaving me $46.08. And this one actually sold when I sent out 50% off offers. I do think they have definitely sold for higher price points in the past, but this one someone just lucked out when I sent out offers. These next two Everlane pieces sold just 2 days after listing and for higher price points, so be sure to be on the lookout for these. The first is this texture cotton cardigan in black. I paid $11.20. It sold for $75, leaving me $48.80. Next is this cropped cashmere cardigan in black. I've sold this in multiple colors, I think just black and orange actually, but it sold really quickly in both colors. This one sold for $81, leaving me $51.58 profit. And the last Everlane piece for this video is this cashmere v-neck sweater in black. I paid $11.90. It sold 58 days after listing for $85. That left me with a profit of $54.08. This next item did take a really long time to sell, but it did bring in a good profit when it did. This is the Buffy king size duvet cover in cream. I do feel like I had white and cream and gray, and the white and gray sold much quicker than the cream. But this one I had just paid $12.23 for. It sold 151 days after listing for $87.85. That left me with $49.82 profit. Okay, and these last two items definitely sold for a higher price point. These are brands that I will definitely continue to be on the lookout for. I will have to be mindful of what I pay for them. I did pay up, I think, too much for one of them, and it left me with a small profit and tied up that investment for quite some time. So I will have to be careful with that. First up is this House of CB dress. This is the Olinda cutout mini dress in white. This one I had paid $29.75 for, and it sold really quickly, just 14 days. It sold for $94 and left me with $51.24 profit. And lastly, we have this Hemet and Anita dress. This one I got retail arbitrage, so I definitely paid up for it. This is the Hera maxi dress. Or maybe it was midi length, maybe it's a midi dress, but this one was very pretty. This one I had paid $108.25 for, which is not too crazy, but I do feel like this style sat way longer than I expected it to. It took 281 days to sell, and when it did sell, it only sold for $185. So that left me with a profit of $30.50. I definitely had a higher return on investment on some Everlane pieces that sold much quicker and had a lower investment. So that is something I will have to be mindful of. I do like having these higher end pieces, but I think this was too much to pay for this piece. And that is all 20 items for this video. I hope that this is helpful in seeing some styles that sell for a little bit higher price point, but also seeing some of the mistakes I make by paying up a little bit too much or whatever it may be. I know that when I first started reselling, and still to this day, I watch people's what sold videos because it's where I feel like I learn the most information, and it helps a lot with brand recognition. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.